Hey, what is up, guys? I am Hippie, and you guys have been asking for it for quite a while, and it's been a little while since I did one, so that's right. It is time for a new level 1 through 75 full leveling guide in Wynncraft. So, I'm going to give you the opportunity right now. If there's just a certain level group that you're looking for, you can click through it with one of the annotations right here. It'll open it up in a new tab, and you can go ahead and just watch that part if that's what you're looking for. Or if you want to watch the entire video, a lot of these spots I haven't used before, and I haven't seen a couple of them used in any videos before, so a couple of these might be like brand new spots. So let's go ahead and get into it and get started with the first spot. Okay, so this is obviously the first spot, level 1 through level 10. It's straight off of this little road coming out of Ragni, the starter city. You got these two little, I guess they're catacombs or little ruins by this item identifier. Now, the one that I go to first spawns levels 1 through level 5. And there is a couple of safe spots that you can get up to. One of the criticizations? What's the word? One of the things that people criticized my videos before was that the warrior and the assassin couldn't use some of the spots because the other spots were high up. I made sure when looking for these spots that you could use them with any class. So if you're a warrior or an assassin, just keep running around, and if you're a mage or an archer, you can get up on top of some of these little ruins and they can't hit you up there. So keep on killing at the levels 1 through 5 until you're about level 5, and then run over to the second ones that I jump on, and they are from levels 5 through, I think they're levels 7, but they might also spawn level 9, I can't remember, until you get to level 10, or actually a level 11. So once you get to level 11, we can go ahead and move on to the next spot. Alright guys, so this is the next spot. Now, I've never seen this spot. I just found it a few days ago while searching. It's this little cave on your way towards Nemric. I've never found this cave before, so it's pretty cool. It seems like the trick to this cave is to try and get to the bottom of the cave as quick as possible. When you get to the bottom of the cave, you'll find level 8 false wall blocks or whatever, they're mobs, and you also find, I think, water zombies, which are level 10. Now, I would go ahead and kill them until you get to a level maybe 14 or 15, then start working your way back up the cave. You're going to run into some level 17 or 18 zombies, and you're going to run into some level 19 skeletons. So go ahead and just keep on grinding here, work your way up from the bottom all the way to the top. Once you get to the top, you should be around level 21. When you get there, we can go ahead and move on to the next spot. Okay, so I've used this spot both times whenever I had to make these videos, and I'm using it again because, in my opinion, it is the best spot for them levels. I did some searching around, I asked around for everyone that I knew on Wynncraft, and they all said that this was the best spot too. So go ahead and keep on using this spot. If you are a warrior or an assassin, just keep running around these hedges that I run around. And if you are a mage or an archer, you can get up on top of the wall. You just can't go in it until you complete one of the quests. I can't remember what it's called, but you get access to Skid Row. But until then, you have to run along the wall or get on top of a tree or something that you're a little bit safer. Now, I wasn't sure about this spot at first because it's a little bit harder to grind here because of the archers, but if you get here at around level 21 and grind on the outskirts of the area until around level 24, 25, you should be able to start running through back and forth after that level. If you're having problems, go inside one of the caves, and there's some like lower level mobs in there that you can fight and grind up a little bit until you get to maybe level 27 or so, and then grind out the rest of the way until you get to level 31. Then we're going to go ahead and get to the next spot. Okay, so this is the next spot, and it's again another spot that I had found earlier on last month, and I grinded there with my warrior, I believe it was, and it seemed like a pretty good spot. It's still in the desert. It's just this little hole in the ground that spawns these villagers that I think are called like bandits or something like that, but they spawn in there pretty quickly, and they give a good amount of XP. You just kill them, keep on running around the circle if you need to. If you are in a mage or an archer, you can climb up the ladder into the second area up there. They don't really spawn up there, you can just keep shooting down into the bottom. They do, however, throw emeralds, so they could hit you up there if you're not being careful. So stay back a little bit and maybe shoot some spells into the bottom or whatever. And I think these are levels 34 and 35. I can't quite remember though. Now, every once in a while, if there's a lot of people on the server, they will stop spawning for a few seconds. The best thing to do is run and climb back up the ladder out of the hole and run off towards like the silverfish dungeon, kill a couple of zombies over there, and come back, and they usually spawn right again. So I had that problem while I was grinding. I just did that and it fixed it. So that's what you do with that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay guys, so this is the next spot, and this one I had a little bit trouble choosing because there's not a lot of great spots for levels 40 through 50. So, excuse me, yeah, am I right? 41 through 50. And I knew I needed to go near the ice canyon because there was a lot of good mobs there, and I'm actually going to leave this one up to you guys to decide whichever you prefer, and I'll give you the benefits of both and the negatives of both. The first spot is the actual path that it takes you into the ice canyon. You get these little, I can't remember what they're called, I think they're frozen zombies, and they're levels 47, I believe. They're pretty easy to kill around level 45 or so. They're a little bit difficult before that. They spawn a ton all along there, and they give quite a bit of loot. However, the XP isn't as great, at least it wasn't for me. So those are the negatives and the benefits of that, I guess. Now, the other spot that's in this area is frozen iron golems that are in this little cave that I found right in the ice canyon. Now, they have a tiny bit more health and they don't drop as much loot. They still do drop a good amount of loot though, but they give quite a bit more XP. For me, I did a test with my archer, or my mage, sorry, and I was getting between 180 and 250 with the frozen zombies, and with the frozen iron golems I was getting between 250 all the way up to like 325. So it was easier for me to grind there, and I guess you guys are just gonna have to look into that and I guess see which one you prefer the most. So yeah. So once you get to level 51, you can go ahead and move on to the next spot. Okay, so this is the spot that I found for level 51. It's in the jungle area past the Great Bridge, and it's almost by that little path that takes you down into the Diurnal Jungle. I found this little cave here that spawns herb zombies, which are level 54, I believe, and it also spawns rotten zombies, which are levels 57. You'll also get slimes in here every now and again, which are levels 52 to 54. But this, in my opinion, is easily the best spot because they spawn so quickly. Like you can see in the video that I'm running from the front of the cave to the deepest part of the cave, and by the time I get there, they've already all respawned up there. So you can just keep running back and forth. I don't think there's anything in here that will throw things at you. There might be though, so be careful if you are a mage or an archer that you might be able to get hit off of some of the higher areas that you can climb up to. If not, you can just keep running back and forth along the tunnel, and that seems to work pretty good. They spawn pretty quickly. Also, they drop a good amount of loots, and I did get a legendary iron chestplate in here, so you have a chance of getting legendary armor. So that's another reason why I chose this as the best spot for this area. So once you get to a level 61, you can go ahead and move on to the next area. Okay, so this area is actually only 200 or 300 feet, 200 or 300 blocks away from the other cave. It is, once you go past the Great Bridge, you're going to immediately take a right. Once you go straight through there, there's a cave in there. They also spawn herd zombies, but instead of rotten zombies, they spawn dead miners, excuse me. And they are levels 67, I think, or 64. I can't quite remember right now. But this is another spot that spawns a ton of them. In the video, I think I killed a cluster of 15 like 3 or 4 times. You're just going to keep running back and forth between these two little circular areas that are off the sides of the main path. And once you've killed an entire side and it's not spawning anymore, you just go to the other side, kill a bunch over there, and keep going back and forth like that. They spawn really quickly, they drop a good amount of loot, and they're not that hard to kill. And I do think you would level up pretty quickly here. Like I said, this spot is for level 61 all the way up to 68. And I chose that for a reason, which you guys probably already know. So, once you're at level 68, go ahead and do the Temple of Legends quest, and then we'll come back with the very last spot. Alright guys, we are at the last spot. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already knew that this was going to be the last spot. For level 68 through 75, we're going to use the Temple of Legends. So, I actually was going to choose a different spot for here, because there's another spot that gives almost as much XP, not quite, but it's not as well known as the Temple of Legends. With the Temple of Legends, you got to compete a lot of times to get in there, and there's nobody in there. You can see that in the video. I tried making my video, and I was actually having trouble finding a server that nobody was on. I did eventually find one though. The reason I chose this to be the best one is because A, it gives the most loot. With my mage, I was getting up to 900 XP for some of these, and B, it's because I think this is the best spot to get endgame armor, which is a pretty important thing when you're grinding. So I think it's the best spot to get endgame armor, and it gives the most XP in the game. So yeah, I guess you guys can choose if there's anything that you like a better spot, use that, but this is, I guess, to give you an idea of some spots that you can use from level 1 through level 75. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you are new to my channel, you can go ahead and subscribe if you want to. I try to upload Wynncraft about 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. But yeah, if you guys have been already on my channel, drop a like if it helped you out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have been Hippie, and I will see you guys next time.